Good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. It is Friday at 7:30. That only means one thing. It is the Arsenal Women's Weekly. Now, this is going to be a really good show because we've got the game last weekend against Leeds to look back on. Slightly big win for Arsenal, which was good. The draw for the fifth round was made as well, so we'll have a quick look at that. We've got a game, of course, this weekend away at West Ham. Very important game in the WSL. And also, during midweek, we have got the Continental Cup semi-final against Manchester City. The first of two games against Manchester City in the next week and a bit. So that's going to be good as well. And plus as well, of course, next Friday, it is the Champions League draw. So we'll maybe look into that as well. So lots to get through. It's all going to be great stuff. So stay with us. Coming up, the other side of this. So Arsenal now Frida Marnham again inside the area looking for a second goal. Oh, she's got a second goal. That seals it. Frida Marnham again. And as you can see, we've got a full house in the studio tonight, which is great to see. Andreas, as always, good to see you. You've had a good week?
Yeah, week was okay, and I'm feeling okay. So I'm looking forward to everything we have to discuss. It was a busy week, and will be extremely busy and decisive week ahead now.
It is a very decisive week, and we'll see how that goes. Matt, this week, good to see you actually live in the flesh this week after your little video you sent me last week, which was good, but good to see you actually for real this time.
Yeah, and the good news is there's no walking about or anything about like this, like it was a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, I've been looking forward to this. It was a bit of a last-minute thing. I wasn't expected to finish until a bit later, but they said that they were finishing early, so I was able to go. So, a bit lucky.
Fantastic. Well, we're glad that they did because it's good to see you. And Amar, of course, as well as always, back with us. You had a good week as well?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Yeah, looking forward to starting my job and good back here as well. So it's really good.
Indeed, it's always good to get all the gang together, which is going to be good. So I suppose the only place we can really start is going back almost a week or so to the FA Cup kicked off, didn't it? We played Leeds at Meadow Park, the lowest ranked team in the competition, and in the end, we got the result we all expected. Maybe a few more goals than we expected. I mean, really, what was there not to like about that game last Sunday? 9-0 victory. Everybody that we really wanted and needed to score goals got on the score sheet as well, which was great. Catherine Cole with her first goal. Victoria Paloma with her first goal. Stina got two. We know how desperate she's been for goals. And, of course, Michelle Abimang as well came off the bench and got her first goal. That was great to see. So, all round, it was probably as good an afternoon as we could have possibly hoped for. And obviously, we won the game as we expected. So, I mean, Andreas, it was a very enjoyable game, wasn't it, overall, in the end?
Yeah, everything was perfect. And the best of all is it was a very serious performance. You could see that the girls took the opponent serious, although it was expected to have a clear win. But taking every opponent serious and this is important in this stage we are in now. And it was perfect. Everybody played well, and it was good that Stina scored twice, and it's great that the new signings could have starting debut. They also scored. Yeah, couldn't be better, and the result is really good. And for Leeds, I must say, it's good that we didn't make double figures. It's hard for them, maybe like some of their players said. It's like a dream come true to play against one of the best teams in the country, and then it was expected that they will concede a lot of goals, and not conceding double figures was really good for them. So all in all, it was a perfect evening. We are through to the next round, but the draw for the next round was perfect. But I think we'll talk about this later.
It wasn't ideal, really. Let's be honest. But you know, we've got. If you're going to win the cup, you need to beat some of the better teams, and that's we might have to get through one a little bit earlier than we maybe hoped. But it was a really good performance, and you're right. We didn't show any mercy, did we? It would have been easy to have just gone through 3 or 4-0 and not really worried too much. But we did a really professional job, and yeah, Leeds gave everything. They defended for their lives. The goalkeeper played really well, actually, didn't she? She made several good saves to keep the scoreline down. But yeah, I mean, I say we got the right people scored goals for me. The people that we needed to score the goals got the goals, and hopefully that will help us going forward for the rest of the season, because it's so important, isn't it? Your first goal is so important. So the 2 new girls getting goals was fantastic, and you know, I say Stina needed some goals, and she got those 2 quick goals in the second half, and yeah, all good stuff really. And I say, what was there not to like? I mean, you must have enjoyed that game on Sunday. I mean, it was nice to be able to sit back and relax watching a game rather than feeling stressed about the result, really, wasn't it? It was nice to have that calmness going on, really, wasn't it?
Sorry,
Matt,
you took me. The entire game was just. It was all. It was very much a stress reliever. I mean, we obviously with some of the games that we haven't had during the week or over the past couple of weeks, there's a lot of us who had to sit down and watch the men's game, and those games have been very frustrating. I look at the Newcastle one, and it was just me shouting at the TV for 90 minutes because I was getting fed up of it. Also, I was getting bored. Yeah, it just goes to show you that when it comes to the FA Cup, it was a huge thing. We had a couple of upsets throughout. You had Birmingham City beating Everton as well. You also had I've forgotten the other team that got through. But
Coventry?
Yeah, I don't think it was Coventry. But there was another upset in there, and they took it to penalties in the end, I believe. But again, the FA Cup is just it helps quite a lot if you think about it in terms of development. Michelle Agerman getting her first goal as well. That kind of helps that along. It also helps. You got Katrine, Gio making her first Arsenal appearance as well. She was brilliant for that first 45 minutes as well, and it seems to be that she had this problem with Everton as well, is that she wasn't able to complete 90 minutes. She had to go off because of her hip issue. So I think there's still that issue there, which is unless the plan was that he was going to bring her off, or a couple of them off, if it was 3-0 at half time anyway. It was a very different clash of first half and second half, wasn't it? You had Caitlin scoring with the opening, then you had Katrine's goal, which, if you look at it on paper, not on paper, when you look at it back, she got very lucky. I don't like to say that, but she must have had a lot of power behind that shot for the goalkeeper to have 2 hands on it, and it just either the goalkeeper didn't have enough on it to push it away, or the way she's moved her arms is just lifted it into the back of the net. Kim from the penalty spot is another one. Was it a penalty for me? Yes, it was. But as soon as you saw Kim take that penalty, you know it was going bottom corner and straight into the back of the net. Lena and Jen getting on the score sheet, also good to see. Jen Beattie carrying on the Viv trademark of not celebrating once she scored. That was nice to see. Stina getting a brace, and I don't know if you've heard or seen the videos around, but the whole stadium was erupted when she scored both goals, and people were very much behind her as well. And Victoria coming in, for me, she was my player of the match. She was fantastic. She was basically pretty similar to Gio. She was pretty much almost involved in everything throughout the game. In the end, it went to Katrina, but for me, Clover looks like if she's able to do that against the top sides, and then she's going to be so influential for the how we do in the next couple of weeks, especially with next week coming up as well. Yeah,
no, it is, and I think it was important that one, they both got the game under their belt, which they needed. They both got goals as well, which was great. And yeah, I thought they were the two standout players, really, wasn't they? I thought Catherine Cole was brilliant. She ran that midfield. And Victoria could have scored 3 or 4 goals, couldn't she? Some of the chances that she had, but finally she got one in, which was great. A good strike as well. So, yeah, I mean, all positive news really on that side of things as well. I mean, Emma, you must have enjoyed that game. It was good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was actually over the weekend, but when I got home, I caught the highlights. It was good to see that they didn't show them any. Excuse me, they didn't show them any mercy. They were good, loads of different goal scorers. Yeah, but pretty much from inside the box, and yeah, ultimately they didn't allow them to have a shot on target. They did what they had to do, and yeah, even the Leeds player at the end got a signed shirt from Leah Williamson. So what could you ask for? We did it before that. I remember that was quite cool. I saw that as well, and. Yeah, no, it was good to see Ajima getting off the mark. I saw Palova. I thought she was outstanding as well. She ran the show pretty much, and I just saw her pace, but also they're able to pick it up, the vision, and also the finishing ability as well. So no, it bodes well. Maybe the only thing her and Katrine could probably improve is their English going forward, because they were quite tense in that post-match interview, as I'm sure you might have seen. But yeah, no, it's good, really good to see, and. Ultimately, they did what they had to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it was not. I mean, Michelle getting that goal towards the end was a great moment, wasn't it? For her personally, individually. Also, I think it just goes to show, doesn't it? That another player that's come through our system, if you like, and getting into the first team this season. She's played a few games, coming off the bench, making an impact, and to get her first goal, that's going to be so great for her. And hopefully, what that'll mean is going forward, she's got confidence now, and next time she comes on in a big game in the WSL or in Champions League, possibly even, she knows that she can do it and she can score goals. And it was great to see a great finish from her as well. And that kind of rounded the day off nicely, didn't it? I mean, it was a great day anyway, but that really did kind of round it off nicely. We've had a few comments coming already. We've got Herman in the chat. He says, "Hello, Richard, all of you from Toronto. Minus 18 here in Toronto. Wow, that's cold." That is, I bet there'll be a few games called off in Toronto this weekend. We had them called off, and it was like -1 the other week. So, and Herman says, Stina must have eaten some Swedish herring because she was on fire. Yeah, them goals were good to see as well. Terry's in the chat as usual. He says it was nice to see us be ruthless against Leeds, but we still should have scored more. We could have scored more. The goalie played well, I thought, for Leeds. She made some good saves, but yeah, we missed a few chances. But when you score 9, you can't really be too disappointed, can you? And think that we could have scored more goals. Herman says there, in a way, if more people can score goals, that might confuse the opposition. Well, it's nice to have the goals spread throughout the team, isn't it? Because as you say, they can't stop one player, because 3 or 4 players could score goals, 5 or 6 now, potentially. So that's what we needed. So that's really good as well. Terry says there, falling in love with Cool and Victoria Palova. What great additions to the mighty girl Gooners indeed. Both look very comfortable, and a big up to Richard for trying his hardest to keep his cool. Well, we do it best, don't we? Sorry not to be biased. Well, I mean, Leeds gave everything, didn't they, in that game? But we were obviously, comfortable, and it was nice to enjoy a game without the pressure. Obviously, we did just mention, well, Andreas mentioned before, the draw for the 5th round was, of course, made on Monday evening, and maybe unsurprisingly, in some ways, we get drawn against Chelsea away. Of course, was the game that we got, which, the one game you don't really want to get at this point in the competition is Chelsea away. They've beaten us in the last 2 seasons in the FA Cup, as we know. But it's an opportunity for us to get revenge for that semi-final defeat last season at Meadow Park when we got to King's Meadow. We've got an opportunity to get revenge for that, haven't we? And we saw the other week, didn't we, when we played them at the Emirates? We were the better team. We created better chances. We should have won that game. And we've got nothing to fear, have we? I mean, it's not an ideal game to play this early in the competition. But, I mean, Andreas, we can go there with confidence, can't we? Because the squad looks good now. We're playing pretty well. And we certainly were a better team when we played them a couple of weeks ago, wasn't we?
Yeah, that's right. But, of course, it was the worst possible draw at this stage. Playing against Chelsea in semi-final, okay, not in the 5th round. And there are teams from the Championship also possible as opponents. So, and away, King's Meadow or maybe Stamford Bridge, I don't know. This makes it even harder. But, yeah, we have a chance there. And I don't think that Chelsea was happy or was celebrating the draw. For them, it was the second worst possibility. I mean, if they had been drawn away at Arsenal, it would have been the worst situation for them. So it's not a good draw for Chelsea. So yeah, it's a 50-50 match. I think it's a knockout match, so it must bring a winner, not this 1-1 draw that we had at the Emirates. But it's still a few weeks till then, and let's see how we come through the next week, and then there's an international break. Then it's important how that everybody comes back without injuries, and then that you have a good restart after the international break. That's the same problem for Chelsea. So it's open. It's 50-50, but of course I would have wished to call Chelsea in semi-finals at the earliest, or see them in the final. In cup competitions, it is like it is, and we have to take it. And yeah, we have a chance, and we must grab our chances.
And if you know, as I say, if we're going to win the cup, we would probably have had to beat Chelsea at some stage anyway, and get them out of the way early. And the route's a lot clearer to the final for us, isn't it? You know, why not? But we know it's going to be a really, really difficult game. But I say I don't think we've got anything to fear. It wasn't a good, as you said, it wasn't a good draw for them either. They wouldn't have wanted to play us at this game. A really, really difficult game. So it's what it is. We have to get on with it. We've got to go there and play, and I'm sure we'll have a decent chance of getting through, because I think, you know, we're as good as them. We know we're as good as them. It's just that when we seem to have played them in the big games, the cup games and stuff, we just fell short previously. But this might be different. I think we've got a bigger squad now, a better squad, and I'm really confident that we can knock them out. And then who knows? We'll have a great chance to go all the way, won't we? We'll see. I mean, Matt, what did you make of the draw then? Because obviously we didn't want Chelsea away. Of course we didn't. But why not knock them out early on? Get rid of them. Bye and carry on.
I had a problem with the way the draw was done. So if you haven't seen it, the way the men's do it is they have this sort of stand with like a half hole, and they put all the balls into a felt bag, and then they just shake them up, and then they put them around, and then they put it into this big ball. You pull them out one by one. Whereas this time around, they were sitting literally in a desk and just pulling out. And the person that was doing the draw was Karen Bardsley. So it didn't look, when she was doing that, she was told guys, would you fill it up, shake the bag. But she didn't really shake it that much, so it just felt like there wasn't much changes. Or she didn't seem to move the balls around as much, which I think a lot of people will say it didn't look like it was a good draw. And if I'm honest, if you're looking at that list, we already know that's going to be the one that's going to be televised now for certain. But that's another issue I have, is that I look at the FA Cup. You had I've completely forgotten it was the Leicester game against Reading that ended up going to penalties, and Reading won it on penalties.
That's right.
These are things that we're missing out. Southampton had a fantastic FA Cup run last season, ended up beating Bristol City in the last minute of extra time before it got to penalties, then going all the way to their title rivals at the time was Ipswich in the next round, and then Kayla Reynolds, a fantastic under England under 21's goalkeeper, scoring the equaliser last minute of extra time, and then ended up Southampton again losing on penalties. These are things that we're missing, and this is things that unless you go to these games, you miss out on them, and it's a real shame. But on top of that, you look at the draw now, and it's just like, well, you've got a WSL game there, and it's a real shame you've got I can't remember who that other team is that's left in there, but they would have missed out on potentially a TV deal, and it's now going to be given to two WSL teams, which seems a bit unfair, if I'm honest. Whereas you saw in the past when we had the FA Cup, we had London City Lionesses that was given TV. They would have had some sort of money towards that, and the same would have been for Conti United, who needed the money anyway. So the FA Cup is always about something special. I mean, we had that with Liam Williamson and one of the Leeds players as well. I don't know if you saw that, asking for a shirt or
Yeah.
and that was very wholesome. But these are the sorts of things that the FA Cup is all about, and it just seems a shame that we've gotten two big teams. In it's a bit unfair on the other teams that are left in there. But at the end of the day, we could end up seeing Durham beat Manchester United. We could end up seeing if City lose to Bristol City, and that will not be televised because of it. It's look down at it on a piece of paper. Us at Kings Meadow, we've got to go over there and we've got to get a result. There's no replay; it goes straight to extra time penalties. So it's a big ask. At the same time, that the last time we played there, it was a 0-0 game. I believe the time before that, you'll probably all know a bit better than me that I believe it was a 3-0 loss. So it's getting over that hump. I suppose the best way is that if we do win there at the end of this month, then it means that we can get over that mentality block that we need of how do we beat them in their own home ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it could have an impact on the title race as well. You know, if we go there and win, that could have a real impact because we've got to go there again in the league, haven't we, later in the season? So that could prove to be significant in that way as well. But this is the FA Cup. We just want to try and get through, keep the run going, get as far as we can, and hopefully win the FA Cup again because it's been a long time since we've won it. So we need to put that right. We owe them one for a couple of cup defeats in the last couple of years. So it'd be nice to get our revenge. They beat us twice in the FA Cup last season, and we need to make sure that it doesn't happen 3 times in a row. That would be a little bit disappointing, wouldn't it? I mean, Emma, what did you make of that draw? I mean, I agree with Matt. It was a strange way they did it, actually. And, you know, you could say maybe was it fixed so that they got the big tie they wanted, or I don't know. But it certainly didn't look great, did it? From watching it, as Matt rightly said, when they do the men's one, you've got the ball. They just put all the balls in that little box, and you can see what's going on. That felt a little bit underhanded, slightly. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a bit odd the way they did it. And you see, as you say, with the men's, they have presenter doing it, and they shuffled the balls in their bag and then put them in, and have 2 people picking out the home and away ties. And have only one person picking out home and away tie balls was a bit of a strange way of doing it, in my opinion. And the way when they last had it on that time, I remember a few years ago, we ended up doing Chelsea as well when they drew the 4th round with two people doing it. But I don't know, whoever came up with that maybe needs to have a look at the way it's done for the next time. And somehow it was inevitable that we draw them. But if you look at it recently, I mean, they're still winning games, but they are conceding a lot more goals. And the team of Liverpool showed they can be got at. I mean, look, we should have beaten them as the Emirates, as you say. So I think, as you say, we owed them one. And we'll go into that game hopefully on the back of after the first game back after the international break, won't it? So after playing Man City twice, so if we can have a good run at the next few games, hopefully nobody gets injured, and then they can go. I won't say all guns blazing for that game, if they can keep all the players fit for that, and there's no reason why we can't go there and turn them over on their own patch, which would please me no end on, or what's the saying? Yeah, which would please us no end. So I mean, let's see what happens, but no, it is what it is, and as you say, if you're going to win the cup, you've got to beat the best.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem strange actually. Every time we play Chelsea, it seems to come after a break. It's like usually international break, then we play them after that. It's after the winter break or the Christmas break, we play them first game back. Now it's an international break and we play them first game back after that in the cup this time. It just seems strange how that seems to happen all the time. But I mean, let's hope we can beat them. I mean, we'll look ahead to that game a bit more closer to the time, the week that the game's on. But it wasn't an ideal draw really. But as I say, let's knock them out, and then we're done. We're done with them. We go through. We can move on, and hopefully, every other draw is going to be easier after that. Let's be honest, whoever we get, isn't it? So we need to look at it from that perspective, really, don't we? Of course, this week as well, apart from all the drama, the FA Cup, the draw, also it saw the end of the January transfer window, which was quite an interesting developments in the last few hours or the last day, certainly, of the window, wasn't it? I mean, obviously, record bids for Alessia Russo, which was incredible, really. And, you know, I was a little bit surprised maybe that Man United didn't sell her, bearing in mind her contract's up. She hasn't renewed, or she's not going to renew. She can go for free in the summer. It seemed a bit of a strange decision. But anyway, I can understand them not wanting to sell her to us when we're title rivals with them and rivals to get in that Champions League positions and stuff. So, but it was quite a lot of drama went on there, didn't it? You know, I think we all had our fingers crossed, hoping and praying that we might sign her. But then I heard some rumours that apparently maybe Stina was going to be included in a part exchange kind of deal the other way to get that done. And to me, I'm glad that didn't happen, because I think all round overall, Stina, I'd rather we have Stina than Russo. We want to add Russo as well, not one or the other. For me, I would rather have had both of them or kept it as we are. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of all of that in the end? Because I think we were excited that we may sign her, but I wouldn't have wanted to lose Stina to get her, would you? I wouldn't have thought that would have been a good move by the club to have done that, if that was true.
Were really exciting days, and I was very astonished when I heard the first rumor that we made this record bid for Alessia Russo, and I thought, is that really true? And then it was true, and and now with all the details, if they are correct, I can't understand why United rejected it. My first thought was we were too late. Making this offer for Russo, and United has no chance to react, to sign substitute for her. And if we offered Stina Blackstenius in a swap deal, and we know that United wanted to sign her last year before she signed with us, so it would have been perfect for United, and getting £500,000 for a player who is out of contract in summer. I don't know why they rejected it, and but for us, if everything is true, it's not good that it's gone public. If we really offered Stina in a swap deal, then we should have covered this under the carpet and not go public with this. It's a blow for the self-confidence for Stina, knowing that the club wanted to sell her for another player. Of course, you can say she has to prove something now, and maybe she will work even harder to prove she's the better one. But it's not a good situation. And and concerning Alessia Russo, I think she would have fit perfectly in our team, and I really wanted the deal to come true. It's difficult to say, because Stina was also signing from Jonas, so he was convinced that she's the right one. But now you can't make these negotiations or this offer without having involved your manager. So he must have said, "Okay, I want Alessia Russo," and of course, I think he must have agreed. Okay, if United rejects it, yes, I agree to give Stina away. It's a strange situation, but I hope this shows Alessia Russo how deeply we wanted her and what we were able to do, that she signs for us. Probably there were talks with her. You can't make such an offer just between the two clubs. There must have been talks with the player, not negotiations, but just talks, and she had said, "Okay, I'm open for a change." So if she doesn't sign the new contract at United, she will be a free agent, and I think she and her management, they will be clever enough to say, if there will be no transfer fee, then part of the fee is for the player. So she can make a really big deal in summer, and I still hope that we will go for her, and especially not let her go to Chelsea, who were interested too, as we heard. So on the transfer window itself, I'm still the opinion that we are lacking squad depth. We let two players go with Jordan and Mana, and we brought Victoria and Catherine in. The only addition or additional player is Gio, but I don't think she will help us just right now. She's an investment for the future. So the squad depth gap hasn't changed very much, and this is could be a problem in the second part of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in terms of numbers. Obviously, it's basically like you said, 2 in and 2 out. So we haven't got any more depth. We've got maybe better quality. I think the 2 players we brought in are going to bring more to the team than the 2 that we let go at this moment in time. So I think that we've improved the squad without improving the depth of the squad, which is a good point. And it was interesting today that Jonas came out and basically said that, you know, we were one short in the summer. We couldn't get one player in that we wanted. We've done it again in January. Again, we're one player short of what we wanted. Obviously, referring to Alessia Russo, you would imagine, because we went all out to get her. And it makes me worried about maybe if he keeps feeling that we're not getting the players in that he wants on a regular basis, will he decide to walk away and say, I can't work if I'm not being given what I need to succeed? That's a worry for me. But it's good that he's got that ambition and he wants to get these players in and improve the team and improve the squad. He's trying to do that and he wants to do that, which is a good sign. But the club maybe need to do better in the summer and get the players in that Jonas really wants. And hopefully Russo is one of those. But I certainly wouldn't get rid of Stina to get her. I think if it's one or the other, I would stick with Stina because she's adapted well. You look at how many goals they score; they've got a very similar number of goals this season. So I'm not sure that Alessia Russo would score more goals than Stina. Is she a better player all round? I'm not sure. So I want to get both of them. I want them both to be at the club so we've got rotation. We've got 2 quality strikers that we can bring into the game, and that's what we need. Sometimes play them both together, and then it's going to be amazing. So, but let's see what happens. I was disappointed that didn't happen, but as you said, maybe the summer it may well happen. I mean, Matt, what did you make of all of that then? The Russo thing. I mean, we seem to be very, very keen to get her. I'm not. Unsurprisingly, because she's a very good player.
Yeah, but you just look back at what we've got in so far. So you got Sabrina, the new goalkeeper. Originally, I thought if Sabrina was coming in, Kaylin was going out on loan. That hasn't happened. So we've now got 3 goalkeepers, which I don't understand, if I'm honest. You've then got in the midfield, you've lost Jordan and you've also lost Manuel Bucci. So then you brought in Katrina Kuhl as well as Victoria Plover, who were looked at in the summer. And they've both shown some sort of capabilities with the game against Villa last week, as well as the game against Leeds. It's now the game against West Ham, which will be the telling sign of can they adapt to the league as well as the cup competitions. And then you do look at the things that where we were lacking, and you do think we did need a striker. Quite earlier on, we were going quite hard on Chloe Laplace. Signa Broom was also an option. That didn't happen, and then at the last minute, we get the day before the deadline closes. Oh, we put in nearly a $500,000 a transfer fee in for Alessia Russo. I have been a bit of a fan since I saw her play properly when against last season Manchester United versus Everton. She really impressed me then. She's everything you kind of want in a forward. She's able to do the link up play like Viv can. She can get on the end of things like Leah does or Rafaela has done. She's another person in the box that can unlock potential. But when you look at recalling Gio, I know Andreas has said that he looks at that as maybe one to the future. She can also play up top. It's also an option. It's a problem is that if she's still got that injury, she's not going to be able to unleash that full potential just yet. It might have to wait until next season. But if she's being given 20 minutes towards the end of the game where she's playing up top, she might end up being the difference at the end of the day. Imagine she, say, against Chelsea in the FA Cup, or let's say against City, 20 minutes to go, it's 0-0, and you put swap Stina for Gio, and Gio goes and scores the winner. Who are you going to applaud? Are you going to applaud Stina for going off, or are you going to applaud Gio, or are you going to applaud Jonas for being brave and actually making that decision? Because at the end of that 90 minutes, it would have gone to extra time, or it would have gone straight to penalties. Alessia Russo was going to be a hard one. I can understand United's objections because it's basically the Casey McCabe objections that we had because of the that wasn't something that was always going to happen. As soon as that went, it was a very odd window. But I think if you look back at this window, the deals that we've done, although it's not 100% perfect at the moment, I'd give it a 7. But if I look back at the season and say we won FA Cup, League Cup, got to the semi-finals of Champions League, and say we win the title as well, that probably pushes that to a 10 out of 10 at the moment. It's just it's about making sure that the players that we have, they can do the business now. They did it against Leeds, they've done it against Villa. It's now they've got until the rest of the season to decide to put it all together and make sure that they're on the same track. If not, have to go again next season and make sure that the right thing's going to be happening. Additionally, Noel Moretz was also being pushed about by old man, our old manager Joe. Again, that was rejected straight out of hand, and you can understand that. But from Noel's perspective, I can understand because she's not getting that game time as much. I would imagine that if Jonas might have pulled her aside, or whoever's in charge of the transfer window, we don't know. We don't have that exclusivity. We can't turn around and say who's in charge of this, who's in charge of that. So we can't. Whereas with the men, you can go, oh, Edu's in charge of the transfer, so it's his department is someone we can share that sort of push and say, look, you need to be doing something. Whereas we don't have that. I think my honest opinion is, I think both with Katie and Noel, I think they'll assess at the end of the season. If they do win something, then they can go off with style. If they don't win anything, I think they'll look back and go, that was a wasted opportunity and I need to get more minutes, so I need to get out the door. And it will be a real shame because Katie's really loved. I know there was a lot of chants around the anti-Chelsea stuff. Don't know if you heard that. But it was if the fans are giving that, it's an encouraging sign. But at the end of the day, the fans can only be one side of it. The player and the club also have to make up their mind. It's a bit of a shame about Alessia Russo, but the thing is now, if you look back at it, her contract is out in the summer. She's got a World Cup to look forward to. She's going to be the England number 9. She's going to know Arsenal are going to be knocking on that door come the summer. Actually, we can actually talk to her now because of her contract. So that's another option. And I know Leon, we're looking at her as well. You're going to have Barcelona, Real Madrid as well sniffing around. But Arsenal might be top of the line because of not only where she's come from. She lives in Kent, so she's not far away from there. But it's an opportunity for her to say, look, okay, we can offer you Champions League football every year at the moment. Whereas Man United might be a fluke this season. They might get it by, say, the 1 point or something like that, or they might just do what they usually do and capitulate. But anyway, transfer business, I think it will be an interesting one, but we won't know the full story on it until it comes to light, whether Alessia does a book or something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe if Man United qualify for the Champions League or win a trophy this season, I think she may well stay. If they don't, then I think she'll definitely not stay. She won't sign a contract, and we've got a good chance to sign her. But we'll have to wait for the summer now and see what happens. But yeah, overall, I think it's been a good transfer window, not a fantastically brilliant one. It worries me that Jonas wanted more, and I think we all know we needed another centre forward, and we didn't get that. So it's a little bit disappointing, but I think it's been a good window. The players we brought in look good, improved the team, so we've got to be happy with that. And as you say, if we end up winning everything this season, then no one will mind. We'll think it was a great window, won't we? If Victoria scores a winning goal in the last game of the season that wins us the league, I'm sure we'll all say it was a great window. And who needed Alessia Russo anyway? But we'll see. Emma, what did you make of all that? Though, obviously, it would be great to get Russo, wouldn't it? In the summer, if obviously we couldn't get her now. But the club must have been serious to bid that much money, world record bid. But they must have been really, really desperate to sign her, mustn't they? And is that a good thing to be that public about it? Say, this is how desperate we are to sign a player that we're going to offer most amount of money.
Yeah, as you said, it does scream of desperation. And, when you lose players like Vivian Beth, who are contributing so much to the club down the years, why did they leave it so late, in your opinion? And, okay, I don't know why they offered Tina as a swap deal. I don't know, but she's done well in the way. Everyone goes through bad spells. She hasn't exactly gone like the whole season or a few months without scoring. It's only like since November, I think she last scored in the league, and she did score a couple in the Champions League against Zurich and then the FA Cup against Leeds. But yeah, it does show that there was that bit of desperation leaving it so late and making it public. So maybe why not? Maybe they want to go to a club with I don't know, say greater ambition. But I suppose when Manchester United, the position they're in and what they're looking to achieve and what they got going there, yeah, maybe I can understand why she wanted to stay. But whether they are tied down to a new contract that summer is entirely down to them. And maybe we shouldn't have been so public about it, and maybe we could have got it done earlier in the window. But I suppose no, with what we've still got Caitlin, we've still got Stina, we've still got Lena and Victoria Gio. They can all play in those positions. There's going to be a lot of pressure on those girls now to try and find those goals and prove that maybe it was the right decision not to sign the striker. And as Andreas said, squad depth is still a bit of an issue. But when what we got, you still can't deny the class of those players. And yeah, there will be pressure, but I hope they can live up to their bidding as they have done and get us where we want to be ultimately. So let's see what happens at the end of the season, and whether or not we still want to pursue we'll know after how we finish the season.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think that it's clear that the club really want Russo, and I'm sure we will make an offer again at the end of the season, regardless of what happens. But we'll see. But yeah, it was disappointing we couldn't get that one done, and hopefully it won't prove to be too costly at the end of the day when when it comes to the trophies. Herman says, I heard Arsenal offered a lot of money for Russo, but it was rejected. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about there. Herman says there as well, we can't lose players like Stina. I agree. He says that would be stupid. We have to add great players. Also, Katie McCabe might have to be in the mix. I like her. Yeah, we all like Katie. Yeah, and it's one of them things where she's not getting as much game time now, is she, as she was, and she's in and out of the team. That's something that will have to be looked at the end of the season.
One of the most amount of minutes in the league, according to Tim Stillman with the club.
Has she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that's in her career, is it? Not this
season.
No,
this season.
Really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that actually. That's a bit of a surprise, actually. But that's something we do need to look at. But yeah, I wouldn't want to. I say, no way would I wanted Stina to have gone. We need to be adding to the squad, as Andreas said. We want to be adding depth to the squad, not swapping one player for another player, because that don't really get you anywhere. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Herman says there, however, Russo drives a Land Rover. Well, yeah, she can drive from Manchester to London in a Land Rover. That's fine. You know what I mean? That's perfectly acceptable. And Land Rovers are a nice car, aren't they? So that's fine. So yeah, that's all good stuff. And Herman also says there, our present squad is good enough to win the title. Jonas has to encourage it. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the current squad is good enough. We'll find out, obviously, over the next 3 or 4 months, exactly if they are good enough. But certainly it seems to be good enough on paper. I agree. I think we have got a squad good enough, but a long way to go still, and we need to keep winning games. Of course, talking of winning games, we've got a game coming up on Sunday, and it is a little trip across London. Not the longest trip of the season, but it's a game that we generally do pretty well in, and let's hope we can continue that good run. So yeah, West Ham obviously away, a game that I say we've done pretty well in recent years. So it's a decent game to get back into WSL action. Our first league game, of course, since the draw with Chelsea, and it's an important game we need to win. But no game's easy in the WSL. We know that, especially away from home. But I'm pretty confident now. The fact that the new girls have settled in, they've had a couple of games behind them, they're scoring goals. We're looking confident now. Stina's back on form in front of goal. And we go there in good form. West Ham have been a bit hit and miss this season. They played well in games. They've not so well in other games. But I think if we go there and play as well as we can, we should be confident of getting a result. Andreas, what are you expecting from this game? Because it's not going to be easy, but we should have enough to win again, shouldn't we? We should have.
We should have, yes. No game is easy in the WSL, especially against the mid-table teams. And and West Ham is it's difficult to say how they will be on form. They had good results, but the last one they lost 3-0 to Everton. The match before it was only 1-0 to Man City. So it's difficult to say. At home, I think we won 3-1
Yes,
at the
that's
beginning
right.
of the season. So this is the range. What I'm expecting. I think 2-0, 3-1 for us. I don't think that they should make us too much problems. It's a tricky match. We must be concentrated. But
Yeah.
the cup, the FA Cup match against Leeds showed me that they take every game serious and that they are fully concentrated. And I think everybody knows how important every match now is. And with the coming 2 City matches next week, losing 2 points at West Ham would be terrible. So especially when you look on the table, there are 4 teams competing for the title, not as in last year only Chelsea and us. It's of course it's Chelsea, Man United, and us, but City is also close, and you can't lose any points at this moment of the season. So let's take it serious, and the most decisive point for me is that we go through the season without further injuries. If
Correct.
we have a very good squad, I said we are missing squad depth, but if every player is fit, we have no injuries, then the squad depth will be enough because we have a lot of quality, and we added quality, as you said. But it would be terrible to lose 1, 2, 3 players to injuries, even if it's minor injuries and the player is only out for 2 or 3 weeks. But 3 weeks in March or April mean 5 or 6 games, and this would be terrible. And that's the point I meant with the missing squad depth. But right now everybody is on board, so it's a tricky match, but we are the better team. We should win, and I'm really convinced we will win on Sunday at West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We can't afford any more injuries. And to be fair, it would be really unlucky, wouldn't it? With the injuries that we've had already, the players that we've lost this season, to injuries, it's been incredible. So I think we're due a good run without any bad injuries to any key players now between now and the end of the season. Obviously, we can't guarantee that's going to happen. But, yeah, the last thing we need is to get injuries now. And like you said, the games in March and April, apart from the fact that there's more of them, they're much more important as well, aren't they? Because they're deep into the cups or their big important games in the title race and stuff like that. So, but I agree. I think there are 4 teams in the title race because we've still got to play Man City twice in the league, haven't we? So those 2 games, if Man City were to win them both, that puts them ahead of us and puts them right in it. And if it's 1 win each, again, it kind of closes that gap up. So yeah, I think there is 4 teams at this moment in the race for the title, and it makes it exciting, but maybe a little bit more stressful than it needs to be because we've got a lot more results to worry about, not just ours. But you're right, we should beat West Ham, let's be honest, we should. But football doesn't always work like that, as we've seen plenty of times in the past. But I agree. So what would your score prediction be then, Andreas? You're going for 3-1, did you say?
Yeah. I'd say the same as in the beginning of the season. We win 3-1. I think it won't be easy, and I hope we don't fall behind. But yes, I say we'll win 3-1. I think we would all be happy with this result.
Yeah, I think we'll all be happy with a 3-1. I mean, Matt, what are you anticipating from this game? Obviously, it's not quite as important as it was last season's game at West Ham, was it? Last game of the season when we almost thought we'd won the league at half-time and all that kind of stuff, and it was quite a lot of drama went on that day. Not quite as much drama probably this weekend, but an important game nonetheless, isn't it?
Yeah, and the most important thing is that a lot of West Ham we've seen is they've been consistently inconsistent. So just to give you an example, I was at the game against Everton that Andreas mentioned, and they were torn apart by crosses into the box and set pieces, and that's basically how Everton won their game. Add to that they were very unfortunate actually in the game to get 2 goals as well, because Emily Ramsey actually palmed one that twice the ball onto the crossbar or the post. So West Ham was inches away from putting that into the back of net, making it 3-2 2-2 or 2-2 at the time. So they do have that in their locker, but they just seem to run out of steam every now and again. And for whatever reason, last season, Lisa Evans was sort of their leading light. When I saw her against Everton, she sort of seemed to be playing more defensively than she was attacking. And it was a bit of an odd one, but I think if we can do the same thing, I think we can put them under pressure and again. But it was breaking them down last season. It took Stina to come on at half time for that to happen, and we finally got the goal. And it'll be a game of can we score more than one goal as well, because you look at things in the past as well. The last time it's been games where I look back at the Chelsea game. Had we scored one more, we win that game 2-1, game, set, and match. Against United, if we scored a third, do United get a second or a third? It's just one of those where we need to make sure that we make sure that these games are put to bed and just not have that issue that we've had this season. Since we have played West Ham, we've only kept 2 clean sheets, and that was against Leicester away. So it's going to be difficult for us. Also, what makes it even more worse is that Leah Volti will not be playing in this game as well, where she's still got a niggling injury. We do not know what it was about, but I'm hoping that she'll be playing next Saturday. I do not want her in that Conti Cup game for sure, because I don't want whoever it is, a Steph Horton. Although Steph Horton doesn't really play as much, I don't want a two-footed challenge coming in and she ends up being even worse. If I had to pick a starting 11, I would go with Manu, Steph, Lotta, Hafa, and Laura at the back. Leah comes into the midfield with Frida. Stina up top with Caitlin and Lena for me. What sort of game? What could I predict at the moment? I'd probably predict a 2-0 for us, but we need to make sure that we put these games to bed, and we can't afford to do what we did last time against them. We need to score at least one in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly a little bit less stressful if we go 1-0 up fairly early in the game. We can kind of relax and hopefully enjoy the game. But yeah, it's going to be tough. I think there's no doubt about that. They're they can be a good team. They've got some good players, but yeah, we should have too much quality. I agree with your starting lineup. I think that's the lineup I would go with. Although I don't know, maybe throw Victoria in instead of Lena potentially. Maybe is another option that we could do. But yeah, I mean, we've got some good options now, haven't we, back in the squad, which is nice, because there was a spell earlier in the season when we were scratching around to get people on the bench even. So the fact that we've now got a little bit more better quality on the bench is better, isn't it? So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get a win. I mean, Andreas has gone for a 3-1, Matt's gone for a 2-0, so we're all pretty confident of winning. Emma, what are you making of West Ham then? Actually, just before you start, Terry has put his score prediction, if I can get my mouse to work.
6-0.
He has gone 4-1. Here we go. 4-1. That's what we like to see. Nice confidence from Terry. As usual, he's usually pretty confident, isn't he?
Not the cricket scores we usually come to expect from him, anyway.
Well, yeah, 4-1's a little bit actually conservative for Terry, but anyway, 4-1 will do nicely. What are you thinking, Amar, then, for this game? Are you confident as well?
Yeah, funny enough, I was actually going to say the same as Andreas. I was going to say 3-1, but yeah, I mean, if it turns out that Leah is injured, Balti that is, I mean, you think about possibly resting Kim, which is probably a good idea actually, because you want to protect your best players for that cup semi-final. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against resting Kim, but yeah, then play Frida in the midfield and yeah, maybe possibly Lena, Stina, and Caitlin up front or something like that. So yeah, I mean, they're good, or they're a good side. We've struggled against them down the years. The first season, I remember they scored, I think it was 5 goals against us, and we had to really dig deep to get the results then, and they've gradually improved. What the job that Forkacheski's done has been pretty good, but yeah, the fact remains they're inconsistent. I think that I read a stat earlier saying I think we played them 9 times, we won all 9, so we can make it 10 out of 10, and it won't be easy. As I said, the pressure will be on after Chelsea, Spurs, the Spurs, or Manchester United. Everton's not going to be an easy game, but they're at home. So, I mean, unless those teams can do us a favour, they'll be under pressure. And the crucial thing is for us that we still got a game in hand and that we keep players fit. So, Yeah, I think we could go there and win, but as you say, we don't want to repeat of having to come back from behind like we did early in the season. We had a terrible mistake to concede our very first goal. So it'd be nice to be on the front foot, score first, dominate, and then just try to kill them off as quickly as possible. So yeah, I think I would go 3-1 Arsenal as well.
3-1 Arsenal. That
Before we
sounds
finish
very,
on this
very
one
good.
as well, just be warned, there will be a load of Sweden flags. So if you do wonder why there's a load of Sweden flags flying around in the stadium, they're trying to do it for Lena and Stina.
Well, it's Tina's birthday on Sunday as well, I think.
Yeah, as well. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
sure.
So maybe Terry, maybe it will be 4-1 and Stina will score a hat-trick on her birthday.
Yeah.
And then Terry says, I haven't spoken to Neil yet, so the score could rise
Neil.
quite easily. Well, yeah, I mean, it might do, but we'll take a 4-1. I mean, I do think I feel that we'll win. And I think we potentially could score a few goals. It was a difficult game at home. We were 1-0 down, wasn't we? And we struggled a bit for a while, and then we got going and we got the goals in the end and won the game reasonably comfortably. So I think it might be slightly more straightforward this time. I do feel as though we're at a good time now. I feel the new players are there to make an impact, and I think we'll win. I see. I'm going to go 4-1 like Terry. Actually, I'm feeling optimistic today, so I'm going to go 4-1. And I think Stina's now, she's got a couple of goals. I think she'll push on and maybe get a couple more, and that'll be good. And I think we'll win 4-1, which would be very, very nice, wouldn't it? We'll enjoy that, I'm sure. And of course, straight after the West Ham game next midweek, we've got a cup semi-final coming up, which is quite exciting. I'm quite excited about this game. I know it's a cup that it is probably the least of our priorities this season with everything that we're in, but it's a semi-final and it's going to be a big game. And let's hope we can get to the final. So as I said before, it's the first of 2 games against Man City in the space of 4 days. So it is going to be quite interesting. It's a cup semi-final, and when you get to a semi-final, you want to win and get in the final, don't you? It doesn't matter what competition it is, and it would be nice to get to another final, and hopefully, if we do, perform better than we did in our last final. But yeah, it's going to be a very tricky game. Man City are in good form. We know that they're playing well. And they're always a difficult opponent generally. But last season, of course, we beat them 5-0, didn't we, at Meadow Park? I know they had a few injury issues at the time. It won't be a game like that this time, I'm sure. But we're very, very strong at Meadow Park, aren't we? At home, we're really, really strong. And we're playing well at this moment in time. I'm pretty confident that we can do it, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, Andreas, what do you think about this game? And do you think that there'll be a full-strength team? Or do you think that maybe because of the Man City game at the weekend in the league, do you think there might be some rotation? I mean, we have got options now. We can rotate, can't we? And still not be that weaken the team too much. So do you think that's what he might do, Jonas? Or do you think he might go first 11, strongest team and try and get through?
I think we will line up with the strongest team. But the problem with playing the same team within 3 or 4 days, normally I would say we will only win one of those 2 matches. And if we beat them in the semi-final, they will learn from their mistakes. And there's a real danger that we don't win at the Academy Stadium then on Sunday. What would be the best? Do we want to win the semi-final or do we want to win in the league? I don't know. I have to choose. Of course,
we want to win both.
I don't see one of both teams win both matches. I think if we can win the semi-final, maybe we'll take 1 point on Sunday. Lining up with the strongest team. Yeah, it's a semi-final. We want to reach the final, and the chance to win a trophy is it's extremely high in the Continental Cup. It's just one match away from the final, and then the final could be against Chelsea if they win at West Ham. So don't waste this chance. So I hope that we take it serious. And City has the same problem than we have with the transfer window. They let Vicky Lozada go, and I think they also have a problem with the squad depth. We have to be careful for Bunny Shaw. She's a goal scorer in the WSL, and in every match she's scoring. But on the other side, there are still problems in the city matches. For me, it's not a real team. They always have their problems to come into the match, and they are not as strong as they were in the last 2 seasons. Still in yeah, just finding together, I think so. Yeah, what will be the more important game for City when they go for the cup? Just say one win and we are in a final, and throw the league away. I don't think so, because they are very close. They're 2 points behind us only, and as you said, if they beat us, they will be ahead, and then they are back in the title race. So both matches will be tricky and very tough. And I hope we will say let's concentrate one match after the other, and then after the West Ham, then it's City in the semi-final of the Continental Cup. No other match is important. Then only this on Wednesday, and then after that, let's focus on the league again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's open and it's a knockout match. So if you don't score, or if it's a draw for long, then the danger of penalty shootout is there. Yeah, it will be very tough, and let's win. Let's win it 2-1 in extra time.
That would be fine. We'll take an extra time. We'll take a penalties even. We'll take whatever it means to go through. I mean, I don't want to feel like we can only win one or the other. I'd like to feel that we can win both, get to the final, and then go in the league and win there as well. I don't want to have to pick and choose, because I want us to win everything, every game. And it is tricky playing the same team twice so quickly. It is. There's no doubt about that. It's not ideal for either team. Let's be honest. I don't think either of us like the way that the pictures have worked, that we have to play them so close together. But it's the way it's worked out. We've got to go and deal with it. And maybe the result on Wednesday might have an impact on the Saturday game as well. You know, the confidence-wise and this, that, and the other. I don't know. So I would like to win Wednesday, because it's the first game, it's the next game, and it's the semi-final. So let's win that, get through to the final, and then let's go to the league game and try and do the same again. That's the dream, isn't it? I suppose. But obviously, we'll see how that goes. I mean, Matt, do you think there'll be a lot of team changes for the semi-final, or do you think that Jonas, as Andreas thinks, will go pretty strong in that game and try and win it? Which I'm sure we will.
I do think we're going to have changes. That's not the issue. But the problem I have with this, again, is the draw itself, is that you don't want to be playing someone and then have a league game a couple of days later. So out of all the ones that you would have faced, you would have ideally wanted probably not West Ham, because you just you would have played West Ham at the weekend. So I know it sounds a bit odd, but the best one would have been Chelsea, who we might end up facing in the final. The thing is, as well, is that everyone's saying, "Oh, it's City's trophy." This, that. They've won it 4 times, but we've won it 5. So whoever wins it is almost historically it's theirs for the taking at the end in that final at Selhurst Park in March. With the team, I actually changed it a little bit, but I had a little bit of thinking towards the end. So I went with Sabrina in goal, because she did really well against Aston Villa, and I think it would make sense to test out Sabrina's ability against the Man City, because of the Chloe Kellys, the Laura Coombs, the Bunny Shaws, who is basically a fox in the box at the moment. That's going to be the main point. Can she cope? And also, can the team cope as well with that backline? We did a fairly good job last season. Bunny Shaw scoring in the end, what was basically a tap-in from I can't remember if
the referee's assist. That was a referee's assist for that goal, wasn't it?
Lauren Hemp's cross, I think it was, wasn't it? Hemp's cross, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's those sorts of things where they shouldn't have been allowed, and it was one of those issues. But so it's just things like that they've got to reflect on. Like, they can't afford to switch off at any given moment. Bunny Shaw's going to be on the end of anything. So with that in mind, I had a quick think about this. Originally, I went with Steph, Lotta, Rafael, and Noel at the back. But then I thought maybe you'd give Stina a break for this game. So you'd put Caitlin up front and have Katie at left wing. So that would then mean that it would be Katie, Lotta, Rafa, Noelle, Leah, Kim, Frida, Katie, Stina, and Lena up top. If I'm honest, I was thinking along the similar sort of lines. It could be one of those ones where it goes to extra time with penalties. My ball's always going to be with Arsenal. I think we'll do it, but I think if we were to do it, it'll be like a 1-0, similar to what West Ham did in the quarterfinals. They left it very late, and it was funny enough. It was Danny Burnsdotter scoring that goal. So I'd imagine that it could be potentially someone coming off the bench like a Gio, a Vicky, a Katrina, or maybe just to throw a bit more of the boat out there. Maybe Laura comes on for Noel last minute, and Laura goes and scores another belter like she did against Man United. That would be good.
Yeah.
But if it does go to extra time or penalties, I'd back Arsenal to win it. I'm hoping that we'll go back through. But it's a difficult one to say because then you've got the same team going up to Manchester a couple of days later, and it's difficult to say. But I say it'll probably, if it does, this is probably the best semi-final we could have. But at the same time, if you're a neutral, this is probably the one you'll want to watch. You won't want to watch West Ham Chelsea in the semi-final.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because had we drawn against West Ham, we would have played West Ham 2 games in a row. We've drawn Man City, so we're playing Man City 2 games in a row. And obviously, had we drawn against Chelsea, we'd have got them in the League Cup and in the FA Cup as well. So it's kind of strange how that kind of worked, really. And it's, it's Man City that we've got. But I think Terry's probably got the comment of the night, and he says, Leah and Rafa will have money in their hats. There you go. That sounds like it could be a plan. I think we'll need to as well, because she is the danger, isn't she, for Man City this season. She's a top goal scorer, as we said. So we're going to have to keep her quiet, and hopefully Leah and Rafa can do that, and that would be great. As if they both play, because Matt wouldn't necessarily pick them both, which I can understand why, because they both had their injury problems this season, and we don't want to lose them again, do we? So, yeah, let's hope that extra time would not ideal really, extra time, but it will take it if we need to and go through. I mean, Emma, what do you think for this game? Do you think there'll be lots of changes to the team rotation, or do you think we'll just go for it, try and get to the final, and worry about the league game after?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We have to play them, and remember, it's such a quick turnaround. It's 7:15 on Wednesday, and then there's a lunchtime kickoff on Saturday, which I mean, some people will argue may not make sense, but we could maybe move it to Saturday night or something. But yeah, I mean, it's important that, I don't know, everyone the last thing the squad needs right now is extra time and penalties. So I'm kind of hoping we can do it like we did in the 1920 season, where, if you remember, Viv and Dan, even though there was a bit of a second half comeback for them, I remember Manu saved the penalty from Ellen White, Gemma Bonner's got one, and we saw them off in here, we defended really well, and we saw them off in normal time, hoping for something similar like that. But as I said, I do expect there'll be quite a few changes. I mean, if looking at West Ham game, maybe he'll look to maybe keep 1 or 2 in there, but then be mindful of that we still have to play them on the Saturday as well. So that's where squad depth comes into it. But I mean, I'm hoping we could do it in normal time, and they do have the threats going forward. And so with Bunny, Lauren, Ken, Chloe. Let's see. I don't know, say it's not much of an indicator for the league game, but still final. And as we know, we keep on saying it's a trophy that we've done well in the past, and we want to try and end this drought. So I'm hoping we can get done in normal time, and hopefully, I think we can. Hopefully, as Matt says, it'll be the odd goal. I think it'll be a 1-0 or a 2-1. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, it'd be nice just to get through, won't it? That's what we want to do, a semi-final. The semi-final is the worst game to lose, isn't it, in a competition? So, we suffered in the FA Cup last season in the semi-final, and we've got a good opportunity to get to a final, and we should try and take it. And the good thing is we can make changes to the team. We can rotate the squad, and we've still got quality to come in. You've got Lena, or you've got Victoria can play. We've got Catherine Cool in midfield, or Leah Walty. We've got these options now, and it's almost quality for quality player. So I think we will make changes. We could make 4 or 5 changes between the West Ham game, the Man City game in the Cup, and then the Man City game in the league. There could be quite a few changes, but I still think we'll have a strong competitive team on Wednesday. and hopefully it's going to be a team good enough to go through. Because I want to go to a cup final again. I want to see us in a cup final and win this one. Get our revenge on Chelsea in that one as well, maybe. So yeah, I think we'll win. I'm going to go. It's going to be tight. I think it'll be 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 on Wednesday against Man City. So I think we will win, but I do think it's going to be tough. Terry says, "Yeah, we're Arsenal. We fear no one." Well, no, I agree. We shouldn't fear anyone because we are Arsenal. But I'm not saying we fear anyone. But you need to be, you need to be cautious because no game's easy. So we'll have to see. Terry says, "There, got to play Stina. She's a nightmare to mark with her runs and she's back scoring." Yeah, no, I agree. I would play Stina every game, but you can't potentially do that because you need some rotation. And now she's the only main sort of centre forward that we've got because we didn't get the other one we wanted. So I think we're going to have to rotate her at some stage. Herman says, "I think Palova can play, is capable in different positions." Yeah, no, she is. She can play all along the front three. So she's an option as well. And she's a great player to have. And I'm pleased that we signed her. Terry says, "We don't need to make changes other than bring subs on earlier in both games." Well, I think we do need to make some changes. I don't think the same starting 11 is going to start against West Ham, Man City, and then Man City again. I think there'll be a few changes in between all the games. And I think rightly so. We need to use the squad. We've got the squad now. Let's use it. Let's get some of these players on the pitch and let's hope that we can get the results and get through in the cup as well. Because I say I would love to be in that cup final. Whoever we play, let's just get through. And it might well, if we beat Man City in the cup, it may well have a big impact on how the league game goes next week because we'll be full of confidence, won't we? And now hopefully still be down in the dumps having lost to us once, and they won't want to lose twice. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's a big week, isn't it? Because we've got, as you rightly say, Ahmad, the games are quite close together, aren't they? Because we're playing Sunday evening, we're playing Wednesday, and then we're playing Saturday lunchtime.
Yeah, that's right.
It's 3 games in 6 days, and they're 3 really big, important games as well. So the schedule's not great, is it? When we've had loads of weeks with not many games because we had one called off, you had the winter break and everything else, and now we're suddenly squeezing all the games in a short space of time, which isn't ideal. But it is what it is. We're going to have to play the games, and let's hope we can win all 3. But we'll look at the Man City league game a bit more detail obviously next week when we on next week's show when we look into that one. And of course, we'll look back on the cup game as well and see how that's gone for us. Hopefully, it's gone well because we want to get through, don't we? Right, okay. So, Emma, have you got a question for us this week? Because obviously last week we was a bit pushed for time. I know you wasn't here anyway. Do you have a question for us? Have you got one prepared?
Yeah, if you play the intro, I'll happily do it, mate. Yeah.
Oh, good. We're looking forward to this. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had one, so I'm excited about it. So let's crack on with the best section of the show. No, I'm a bit unprepared because I haven't got me pad and paper. I'm going to have to put something together.
I'll give you time.
Right, let's go. I am ready now.
Yeah. Okay, here we go then. Okay, so which two letters of the alphabet begin the surname of the most players that Arsenal have had in their history?
So is that the first 2 letters?
Sorry?
Is it the first 2 letters of their surname, or is it
the
surname?
Sorry. Which 2 letters of the alphabet begin the most popular surnames of Arsenal women players? Sorry, I'm trying to word that better, but I just messed up.
Oh, I see. So the top 2 letters.
Yeah, which 2 letters begin the surnames of the most players Arsenal have had in their history? That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I understand it now. I think top one, just straight away on top of me has come to me. M has come to my head straight away.
Yeah, how many players do you think have had the surname M in?
Oh, loads.
How many did you say have had this name beginning with M?
Oh, how many? God, there'd be quite a few. I'll write a few down and see how many I get.
Is it first names or last names you're talking about?
Surnames,
Surnames, right, okay.
Okay. Yeah, M is correct, by the way. I'll tell you how many we've got. More down, we've had
M is correct.
names beginning with the letter M.
How many were letter M?
M is
14?
correct, yeah. So M's wrong one.
Was it 14?
14, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm probably at about
14,
5
yes,
or
14,
6.
yeah. According to this
Wow.
yeah.
Is that the most, or is the other one more?
Some more ones, some less known ones, obviously, yeah.
Right, okay, so the second one then.
From the current squad, it would be a W.
Yeah.
The current squad it would be, yeah. They're all W, aren't they, the current squad? They're all LW as well, aren't they? Like Terry's put that in a comment there, LW, yeah. LW is a current team. We've got about 4, haven't we?
Yeah.
But in history,
Did you say it was second or third? Third, right.
Sorry?
Was it first or was M first or second?
Surname.
Yeah, surnames. Was it as in where was M? Was it first on the list or second?
Oh no, it's joint top. Yeah, there's one other one. There's one other one where there's as many. Yeah, as M. So.
okay. There's another one with 14 as well, right? Okay.
I'm gonna guess S.
I was thinking S, you know. Oh, is it? I S was one of the ones I had written down because I could pick up about 4 or 5.
Because if you think about it, you've got Kelly Smith, you've got Leanne Sanderson, you've had
S. We've had 13. There is one other. Yeah, there's one other letter. There's one other letter where we've got just slightly more than S and as many as L, as many as M. Sorry. Let me give the game away there. Yeah, so we've had we've had 13 players beginning with the letter S. Whose surnames begin with the letter S. I'm not asking his name, we're just saying which letters of the alphabet. Yeah, so you said M. Which other one?
I'll write it down, but I think it's going to be wrong. No, it won't be that one.
So yeah, you've got M. You were very close at S. Come on, you're not far off now. There's one other letter, or you've joined most with M for the most players you've had with a particular letter.
I think this one's wrong. I've gone B, but I think that's going to be right down the bottom.
No. Close again. Close, very close. You actually got, funny enough, you've got that said B and S, and those are the 2 second ones. They've been very unlucky there, I think.
Wow.
B, we've had 13. 13, yeah. 13 B, 13 S. We had 14 with M, and there's one of the letter of the alphabet which is also 14. Which letter is it? Interesting.
F G H. No.
This is according to World Football Dawn Net.
Oh, this is quite difficult.
Yeah.
I think we can
There's
rule.
no letters we can rule out. It's not going to be I. It's not going to be A. It's probably not going to be X or Y or Z. So we can rule all of those out. I don't think it's going to be any of them, is it?
It's going to be something silly, isn't it? It's going to be something like
you can rule that one out.
I'm kind of thinking N, but I don't think it's going to be N, is it?
I think the best.
N.
Yeah.
3 players at the beginning when that was Jordan Noel and Jess Naz, of course, who now plays for Spurs. So only 3 have a badge with the letter N.
Only 3. Wow.
So yeah, we're close. Yeah, we've only about 3. That's amazing. I know, isn't it? Jordan Noel, Jess Naz, Natalia.
Wow.
I think the best way is that we look at it as if, can you name any players with those last names? So you get going through all of them.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got M was right. Of course, you've got most of the current squad have. So, well, quite a few of the players of the current team and the last few years have an M. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I guess them.
There's a few you might not recognise. Yeah.
We've already said W, so it's not W.
No.
It's not W. W was very close, but with W got 12, which is pretty close.
12, wow.
We keep getting 13. Yeah, 30 to 12 W, 30. There's one more along with M, which has provided us with the names of 14 players as well.
No, let's get an I. That's definitely an I.
Terry's put a few guesses in. He said S, B, H, M, and C. Well, we said M already, so M's already won. We've already said S and B. C, we didn't say C, did we? We haven't guessed C or H. I can't see it being H. I can't think of too many with an H.
C is close. C is, yeah, we've had 11 C, but it's not. Well, could be something you're not expecting. So keep trying.
I'm just trying to think. F.
Oh, F, fold.
F. It's not F. No, F is at 8.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of some letters that are popular for surnames, but literally because we've had players from all over the world, it's really difficult, isn't it, to think of it that way round, because it literally could be.
I did think but the only player I could think of was Jill Roord, and I think that's it's too few, because how many players would have?
It was only 6. Only 6 of us play. 6 players play with the letter R.
Yeah.
6. Wow. Okay. Is anyone in the current squad got this letter as their surname?
Anybody in the current squad did they send letter? Did they get stuck? Yes, just there is one player who has this as a current surname. Yeah,
Oh, there's one. Okay, that might help a
One.
little bit then.
Right. Okay. So this P. Plover.
no, it's not P. P. We've had nine down the years. It's not far off a 9.
9.
We've said M. We've got one other letter which provided the name 14 players.
So
Quite stumping.
One in the current squad.
it wouldn't be K because K's a very uncommon name.
K.
Because
What you mean for Catherine
No,
Cole? Yeah.
Oh,
We said
Q's
C for
a very
Cat.
unusual, but that would be too low.
K we've had.
We've already
I'm trying to
gone.
go through all the players in our squad and see one letter we haven't found. So we've got D'Angelo. It's not going to be D. Zinsberger. It's definitely not going to be Z. Marquise M. Marquise. Oh, M. Oh no, we've said M already, haven't we?
Through M.
Wainwright. It's not W. Williamson. It's not W.
M's correct. I don't think big M.
Maritz. We've had M. Raphael Souza. S.
Done S.
Steph Catley. We've had C. Katie McCabe. We've had M.
S was great.
Leah Volti. We've had W. Katerina Cole. We've had K.
We've already done Frida Marner.
Frida Marnham, Viv Miedermeyer, all the M's. Lena
Hurtig.
Hurtig. It's not going to be H. H is just too. There's not enough people with H. It's definitely not going to be H. Black Stenius, obviously, we've said B. It's not B.
Have we said that? Yeah, we said that.
We've got Abumang. It's not going to be A, probably, is it? Because I don't think there'll be that many with A. Who else have we got in the squad?
Caitlin Ford, but I don't think it's F.
Caitlin Ford, yeah, well, we said F. It's not F because we already said that.
Black Stenius, Lena Hurtig.
Well, if you're not sure, just you can always pass, but that's not likely.
Oh, hang on. Terry has said L. Kim Little. Could be. We didn't mention her. Is it L?
No, it's not L. It's not L. It's not. No, it's not L. It's not L.
Who have we missed in the squad? Who have we missed in the squad?
Lotta. G. Taya Goldie.
It's not a bad shout, G, but G is a no. It's not G.
I can't think of too many others.
Not far off.
G, anyway.
Closer.
It's more of the centre backs, isn't it? So, who else? We've done Lotta, Rafa, Taya, Leah, Jen Beatty's already. We've already done Jen Beatty. B. Laura's technically still a W.
Yes, a B and S are the second most, and an L in this other letter are the most.
It's going to do my head in now.
According to his data.
I have no idea.
And
there's one in the current squad. We've gone through all the players in the current squad. There must be someone we've missed out. Who have we missed out in the current squad? We must have missed out.
Taya Goldie we've just done. Kim Little, Frida Marnham. Yeah, Plover and Cool. Beth Mead, Viv Miedemar, Katie McCabe, Linda Hurtig, Caitlin Ford, Giovanna, Stina. Yeah, we've gone through them all.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry's had a guess at G. Did we say G? Did we say G already?
Yeah, you did say G. It's not G.
Yeah, I thought we said G. Yeah.
Let's just move it down. Is it a vowel?
G. It's not a vowel. It's a consonant. It's a consonant.
Well, that makes it more difficult because there's a lot less vowels.
Just means we can move past what we have and what
But
we
just to
haven't
say,
guessed.
So I tell you, M. I've got here. Yeah. You also, so M was the most. Yeah, I said Joe joined most. You had your Frida Marnham. You had, of course, Ruby Mace, Leonie Meyer, of course, Marquise, Maritz, McKay, Mead, Miedemar, Mukandi. You also had Christy Murray, who played for us down the years before, Marta Corredera, and also, according to this, Ellen Maggs and Pauline McDonald, who I've never heard of. But there you go.
Wouldn't Emma Mitchell count, or is she now classed as
Yeah,
Candy?
Candy Mitchell. Yeah, Candy.
Oh yeah,
Candy
Mitchell. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah. Terry's gone P. I think he's just going through the letters of the alphabet. But it's not P because we've already said
It's not
P.
P. Yeah, I think he did. I not P. P was he had the answer not that long ago, but it was overlooked.
It's too
Oh,
difficult.
It's going to be obvious, really. It's not D, is it? Is it D?
I said B, and he said no.
No,
D.
D for D'Angelo.
Only 5 for Yeah, no, it's not D'Angelo. It's not D. No. C is close. C has provided 11 players with the letter C.
Herman's gone
Just one of
Vanderdonk
a
V. V for Vanderdonk. That's not a bad show, actually, V, but I can't see there being more than 10 V's, if that many.
Just trying to think of old names.
No, it's not V. Is it?
Have we said F? We've said F, haven't we?
Did we try B?
Yeah.
B scored. What about B? BT Blackstone.
B. Close with it. B was. I said B was the third most. Yeah, B is.
Is that 13 times?
B is the second most with 13, along with S. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 13. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't think. Well, we must have done all the letters. But there must be a letter we haven't said. It's got to be the only one if we haven't said it. It's not going to be Z or anything stupid, is it? Or what?
Then it's H. We have Lena Hurtig.
It is H. Andres is right. It's H. Did you overlook it? It's H.
H. How is it H? How
yeah, it's H.
Players with H? What are they? Come on.
Didn't
you might recognize that to recognize it's H.
Yeah. I thought
here's a few names that you might recognize.
Terry's already put.
Here's a few names that you might recognize down the years: Lena Hurtig, Carla Humphrey, Hala Hussein, of course, Steph Horton, Josie Henning, Urban Heath, Alex Hennessy, Amelia Hazard, who was a youth player. And there's a few here that I must say I don't recognize. Like I've got written here Libby Harper, Sophie Harris, Alice Hassel. There's a few here that I don't recognize, but yeah, and you also got Anouk Hugendijk, who was there for a midfielder for the Dutch for many years as well, and Taylor Hines as well. Taylor Hines.
Oh
yeah, there's a few there. Yeah. But it was H and Emma Brooke.
14. Terry said he said H. He did say H. It was in his like whole list of letters there.
Yeah, he said it. He did.
He did guess half the alphabet.
Yeah, it was H. I was thinking that a bit as well. But yeah, the W, S, B, they're all very close. But it was H and L. H and M that both provided 14 players. So there you go.
That's brilliant. That. H for Herman, of course, who's in the chat. So there you go. H for Herman. There we go. So that was
M&A.
Well, I'd never have got that, actually. I must be honest. I'd never have thought that would have been one of the most popular letters. Because it's not the most common letter for a name, is it, H, really? It's not like a really common one.
No.
But anyway, there you go. Well, that was a bit of fun, wasn't it? So if anybody got that apart from Terry, then they did well, and obviously Andreas as well who got it. I wouldn't have thought H. I'd already thought H was one of the ones. It's not going to be H. Like Z and Y, I'd crossed all them off because I thought it can't possibly be them because they're not popular letters, are they? But anyway, it was H. So there you go. That was a slightly different sort of question, but it was good. Enjoyed that. So
Yeah.
M&H, there you go. It's almost like M&H. That's like a sweet, isn't it? Almost, it sounds a bit like a sweet M&H.
Well, you
Maybe
put
it should be a
H&M
new-
together. It's a popular clothing brand.
Oh,
isn't it? H&M.
H&M, I think it is. Yeah, H&M. Yeah, that's it. H&M. Maybe that's where they got it from. H&M. So yeah, anyway, H&M. So that's it. So they are the two most popular letters for surnames of Arsenal women players in history. So that's interesting to know, isn't it? And a few others. So our next signing needs to be. It needs to be S to draw level.
Yeah, it needs to be S to draw level. That's right.
So we need to
Or
find them.
W.
So Jonas, if you're watching, the next player you sign in the summer, their surname's got to begin with S. Okay, or M to put M in front. Maybe get another M because we haven't got enough M's in the team at the moment, have we? So
Give Jonas a little bit time, then it will be W. He always signs LWs.
yeah, he does actually. Yeah, I think W's will end up winning eventually. If Jonas stays long enough, W's will win because he's bound to sign another 10 at least, isn't he? Because he does love a player that's got a W in their surname. But yeah, and that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. That was pretty good. It's something a little bit different to think about, isn't it? Trying to think of all the surnames that there are that we've had. Which there's been hundreds. Who would have thought that H&M are the top two? I wonder what it is for the men's team. I bet it's probably S for the men's team, just because there must have been about 20 players. Smith.
It's not X.
Terry says it can't be because it's going to be Russo. Yeah, maybe it might be Russo. We'll see.
Yeah.
It might be Russo.
I don't know what it is for the men's team. It's a good question. What would it be? I think S maybe. Yeah, I think maybe S.
I would probably say it's R. If you think about it, not
R. Saka, Smith Rowe. Who else?
Well, I mean, if you look in history, Arsenal would have had loads of players called Smith because it's such a popular name.
Yeah,
we probably had like 50 players called Smith. So it'll probably be S just on that basis alone, probably. I don't actually know. I'm going to sit and work it out one day when I've got nothing to do for about 4 hours. I'll go through every single player in history that's ever played for Arsenal and come up with which letter has been the most popular.
There was a program many years ago. I remember in a matchday program. I don't know if they still have it in new current matchday programs. They listed all the players that have ever played for Arsenal. And
well, it's in the handbook, isn't it? And it's in the. I've got a book of Arsenal history that goes up to 2018, and that's got all the players listed up to 2018. So I could probably work it out from there. Look who's played since 2018, add them in, and probably work it out like that. It'll take a while, but see, there's no. I don't know. I don't know whether any of you guys do it. Is there any books on the women's history of Arsenal? Women's history? I don't think there is there? I've not ever seen one. I might have to write one just because there isn't one out there, and there needs to be one because there's lots and lots of books about the men's team's history, and obviously the men's team have got a lot longer history, but the women's history could be quite important. You know, obviously it's the most successful women's football club in the country, so I do think that it needs to be written. So I'll have to sit down maybe and start writing it. I do think that's what we need to do. I might write to Arsenal and say, do you want me to write this book? Because I think it can help with the archive, won't I? You know, to look at the history of it all in a bit more detail. They'll have all the stats and everything else because they're quite difficult to find, aren't they? The stats on 1987, 1988 Arsenal women, how they, you know, the stats of the players that played, all that kind of stuff. So I might have to get in touch with Arsenal and see if they want me to do it. But that would be quite interesting, actually. So, you know, but anyway, that was I enjoyed that. Another of Amar's quizzes question, which was really good. We enjoyed that one. Anyway, that's enough of using our brains for one Friday night because the weekend's about to start, as it always does on a Friday after our show. We are looking forward to a busy weekend. Of course, tomorrow it's the men playing against Everton and the lunchtime kickoff, and then Sunday evening, Arsenal women travel to West Ham for another big game. Let's hope we can get the victory there and put the pressure on those teams just above us in the league would be good. So it's a good weekend coming up, exciting weekend. We're looking forward to it. And then, of course, next week, a semi-final, a cup semi-final, which is always good fun. So we'll look forward to that as well. And, of course, next weekend is another big game as well in the WSL. So loads and loads of great stuff to look forward to. Andreas, good to see you again. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, of course. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed discussing with you all and tricky question from Amar. And looking forward to the week. And don't forget the next Friday before our show starts, there's the Champions League draw. So the exciting days coming up. And next Friday we will know a lot more. We'll know whether we are finalists in the Continental Cup. We know which team we are facing in Champions League. And it's interesting week, and I'm looking forward to everything.
It is a very interesting week. Yeah, of course, the Champions League draw is at 12 o'clock on Friday. So we will obviously discuss that on next Friday's show. Look who we've got, look forward to that. And of course, the game against Man City as well next weekend, and look back on these two games this week. So a busy show next week as well, I'm sure. It's going to be good. And Matt as well, good to see you in the flesh this week. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, I've enjoyed the show. I just thought, just quickly, do you want a on this day for our Saturday, our game on on Sunday, or would you rather have a chance?
Do it on this day. I don't know.
I like both of them options actually.
I'll do it on this day. So on this day, on the 5th of February 1931, Jack Lambert hit a hat-trick and Cliff Baston hit a brace as Arsenal beat Leicester 7-2 at Filbert Street.
Wow.
Cliff Baston. Wow, those were the days.
That would have been a good game to have been at, wouldn't it? Really, let's be honest. 7-2 away from home, that's not bad. Arsenal were quite good in the 1930s, though, so that's probably not that big of a surprise, is it? Because we won a few trophies, didn't we, in the 1930s? That was good, actually. An interesting stat there from Matt. You see, this is what you get when you get books about history. That's what you can find all this great information out. And Matt can bring us these great facts, which is really good. 7-2. Well, maybe Arsenal women will win 7-2 against West Ham. So repeat that. 70, 80. How long ago would that have been? 1931. That's what
94 years ago.
88 years ago. 88 years ago that was, wasn't it? Wow.
92, I think, isn't it?
I'm terrible with math, so
I think it's 92, but anyway.
It's a long time ago. Anyway, if anybody watching was at that game at Leicester in 1931, please put a comment in and you can win a special prize. That'd be good. So if you was at the game, you need to show us the programme to prove that you was there.
Yeah.
And you win a special prize. So that
go on. Give us 2 for the price of 1. What's the song?
Yeah, go on, give us a song. Yeah, go on.
So if by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, she'll carry you home tonight. Catherine Cole will set the pitch on fire. She can burn brighter than the sun tonight. Catherine Cole will set the pitch on fire. The gunners never look brighter than the sun.
Wow. A new song for Catherine Cole. That deserves a round of applause. That was really good.
Brilliant.
And I like the tune it was sung to as well.
Terry, what Terry made of that? I want to call you.
Yeah, Terry, you need to give you a score out of 10 for that because I know you like to score my songs out of 10. So we'll see. Terry says there he only missed that game by 35 years. Yeah, I think we all kind of missed it by quite some distance, unfortunately. But if anyone out there was there, let us know. It'd be great to give your thoughts on what you thought of that game against Leicester. I was Terry, they put his score. He said 9 out of 10 because there was no music. I think it was better with no music. I don't think it needed music. It was great a cappella.
That was brilliant.
We've got Herman in the chat. He says, Sunday morning I have my music rehearsals,
nice.
But I'll be able to see the game later on. Well, what you need to do in your music rehearsals is you need to do Matt's song as part of your music rehearsals. That's what you need to do. And it'll be even better, won't it? So, play it back so you get the words and you can go into your music rehearsal on Sunday and play that song and everyone will be amazed at the song. It'll be brilliant. It'll get to number 1 in Toronto. It'll be the number 1 hit song. So you'll have to do that on Sunday. That'd be good, and record it as well, and play it to us next week so we can hear it on the show. That'd be good, wouldn't it? There's so many historians on this show. No, there is, and we want to get some more in the chat. We want people that went to games in the 1930s to come on and tell us all about it. It'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was good fun actually from Matt there. See, this is why we need Matt in the studio. But we can't have him on video because he can't produce all this magic stuff that we only get when he's here. So we need to make sure that you can make it on the show. Ammo as well, thank you very much for coming on. You enjoyed the show, enjoyed the week?
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it last week. It was good. It's been a good week for me, and hopefully it'll be a good week for the girls as well as they look to try and cement their position in the league and reach a cup final. So now I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be back on what I love doing the most. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. So important few weeks ahead, and looking forward to sharing it with you guys as always.
No, it's going to be a good week. It's going to be a big week as well, isn't it? Terry says, Matt, you need to get your backing singers involved a bit more. Well, we've got Herman. Herman's got the music to play, so that's what we need. Herman needs to get involved. Get his guitar out and he plays. It'd be great. But yeah, so that's something we have to look at maybe for future shows. But it was a great song. As always, we wouldn't expect anything less, really, would we? So that was all good stuff. So obviously coming up on the tail end, we've got a busy weekend. Tomorrow, I'm probably not going to be able to do a watch along of the Everton game because I'm going to miss the first half. So we're doing a show afterwards, getting a few people on. Melvin's coming on, Lee's coming on, and this stuff. We'll just sort of talk about the Everton game straight after at 2:30. We're going to go live with that. Just looking back on that game, really, and just dissecting that. So that's coming up tomorrow. And obviously Sunday, we've got to watch along in a women's game against West Ham. That is going to be a good game, I'm sure. It's 7:15 kickoff, isn't it? A late one. So we'll be live about 6:30 for all of that one. So please join us for that if you are around. And then what have we got then? Probably next week we'll be doing. I think we've got a new Highbury Matters show from Melvin coming up in the week. Of course, Wednesday it's the Man City game. Watch along from Meadow Park, Man City in the semi-final. That is going to be great as well. So join us for that. Early kickoff, isn't it? Isn't it 7:15 kickoff? Isn't it?
7:15. Yeah, that's right. 7:15.
Yeah. So we'll go live about 7:00 for that one. Hang on. Look what Herman's put in the chat there. He says he sings opera. Wow. That would be incredible. Singing a Catherine Cole song in opera. Imagine that. It'll be like Nessun Dorma. It'll be the Nessun Dorma of 2023. It'll be the Catherine Cole song. There we go. We need to get that done because that'll be great. You know, isn't there that the Christmas #1, wasn't it, from some guy on YouTube? He made the Christmas #1. And this is what we can do for next year. We can get Herman singing opera to Matt's songs, and we'll be #1 next Christmas. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, not a good idea.
All proceeds going to the Arsenal Foundation or something.
Yeah. And don't forget as well, we've got Pete Drake, who made the great songs for the Euros that we played. He makes the theme tune to the show. He can play guitar, so we've got a guitarist, we've got an opera singer, we've got Matt to write the lyrics. We're sorted for Christmas #1. So that's what we've got to get this sort of organised, you know, in time, so we can be Christmas #1 next year. You know, forget all that lad baby or whatever it is. We're going to be the new #1 for Christmas. So we're going to have to sort it out. We've got nearly a year to work on it. You know, we've got plenty of people around to help us, which will be good. Herman says, "Thanks all, great to see and enjoy the wins." Yeah, we're going to enjoy the wins. We're going to enjoy your opera singing as well for the Christmas #1. So that's going to be good. Terry says, "I sing badly." Well, don't worry about that. It's all part of the fun, isn't it? You know, we don't worry about that. It's all good. So Terry will have to get involved. You can sing backing vocals, Terry, on a song. That'd be good. You can sing the la 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 that you put in the background. That'd be pretty good.
I'll see if Happy Road's available as well. So,
Herman says we have to guess Herman's age. That's going to be quite tricky, isn't it? It's going to be this is going to be harder than Amar's quiz, isn't it? Trying to guess Herman's age. Obviously, he sings opera. I don't know. What do we think? How old do we think Herman is?
57. I don't know.
How old? Did you say 57?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we've got a starting bid of 57 from Amar for Herman's age. What do you reckon? How old do we think Herman is from Toronto? Older or younger than 57? Let's go with that, shall we? Older or younger?
I don't know. Just a punt.
I'm looking younger. If I'm honest, just from the photo, it looks. I would probably say.
I'm going younger than 57.
I haven't even seen the photo. I didn't even see the photo. Sorry.
I think younger.
I've probably overblown it. I've totally overblown it then.
Yeah, Amar does apologise, Herman, if he's really wrong. Terry's gone 21. Well, you know, 21. He's tried to go the other way. Terry's gone the other way there just to try to make up for it, I think. There's not too many opera singers out of 21, let's be honest. So I'd say somewhere in the middle, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to say 42. There you go. 42 is my guess. That's just somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Terry says, surely I can't be the oldest. Well, we don't know how old you are, Terry, either, do we? Let's be honest. Although I think you have told us once when you were born, so we can probably guess roughly. I think you're similar age to me, Terry. I'm pretty sure you are. I think, you know, we're both kind of from a similar sort of era of Arsenal from, you know, stuff that you've mentioned before. So I think we're probably similar sort of age. I think Matt's obviously the youngest, isn't he, on this particular show? Probably. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Amar and Matt are probably not that far apart, are they? In age?
I'm 31, so I'm 31.
Yeah, so I'm younger. I'm the youngest.
Wow, okay. Herman says, I've also sung some pop like My Way, Sinatra. Oh, wow. Sort of pop as well, even better. Even better.
No, he might be in his 50s.
Yeah, but you got
Everybody
you look
knows
at-
My Way, though, don't they? I don't think that's like a generational song, isn't it?
He's 65.
You think he's 65, Andrea?
65.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Andreas has gone really high.
What about Matt? Where's Matt?
Terry was born in 1966. There you go. So I knew he was a similar age. I was born in 1968.
Terry's 57.
Terry, no, he's not 57, is he? He'll be 55. No, 56. He'll be 50.
Yeah,
55. Yeah, because I'm 55 this year. I was born in 68, so a couple of years older than me. Good year 66, though, wasn't it? You know, the World Cup and all that. So, you know, that's
what
not
year
bad.
were you born, Andreas? What year were you born?
I'm the oldest. I don't talk about my age.
Sorry.
Are you older than Herman, though? That's the thing. That's what we need to find out.
Sorry. Forget I asked that.
Herman says a few lessons might fix that. Yeah, we can all learn new tricks. Terry says not until the 29th of May. Oh, right, okay, 29th of May is Terry's birthday. Well, Terry, we know Terry's birthday now, so everybody should send Terry a card on his birthday. 29th of May, 1966 he was born, so he's going to be 57, isn't he? No, 56.
He'll
no,
be 57.
57.
Yeah.
No, don't start that
57.
debate.
Wow, that was a good guess, that then, Emma. You guessed 57 for the wrong person, but you got it right for the wrong person. So there you go.
How old is Herman? Go on, reveal. Tell us, Herman. How old are you?
Terry says Andreas triple figures. That's not very nice, is it? Triple figures. What are you on about? No, I don't know.
That's implying that he's 100.
Well, exactly what he's implying there. I don't think that's quite true. But anyway.
Oh, that's so kind on you, Terry. Very kind.
We do need to find out. How old Herman is, though.
Yeah, I want to know as well. How old is Herman?
If you do go 65, I might say early 60s.
Oh, I don't know. He said we're flattering him when you went 57, so maybe Andreas might be right.
Okay, I'll change it. I'll say 36. 36.
36. Come on in, Herman. You have to tell us how old you are, because we've had a few guesses, ranging from 21 to what did Andreas say? 60 something or other?
65.
65. There you go. Between 21 and 65. I'm sure we've got it right. I'm sure it's in that age bracket somewhere. I'm sure you're in there somewhere. Most of us are. So I'm sure that's the way. So you will have to wait now till Herman gives us his age, because we're all kind of really we need to know now, because we've had quite a big section about it, so we need to find out what the truth is about. But even what whatever age Herman is, it doesn't matter. You can still sing the lyrics to our Christmas #1 song, so that'd be good. So yeah, but a bit of here we go, and the answer is 1955. Wow, so that means
1955. I bought a suite in Savile Row.
Wow. Oh,
1955, I bought a suite in Savile Road.
Yeah.
Savile Road, yeah. Wow. Okay.
What do you mean I bought a suite? Suit. So I think you mean suit. I bought a suit.
Probably Savile Road. Savile Road's where you buy suits, isn't it?
Oh, that's it, Savile Row. Yeah, Savile Row's favourite tailor. God, that must be making like 70 then. Jeez,
according to this, the calculator, it says he's 68. If he bought.
68.
Andreas wasn't far off then, if that's true. Wow, that was a pretty good guess.
If he brought a suit, that would probably mean that he was probably working around the time. So I'd imagine that maybe he was a bit older than that. I would probably say 70.
Maybe he's about 80.
Says, it is the reason I can't visit you guys. Well, okay, yeah, I mean, we'll let you off. It's a long way to travel, isn't it, from Canada over here. Especially if you are in your 70s. Wow, brilliant. And that might make Herman our oldest viewer, actually, of the whole channel, potentially. I don't know, because most people, I don't know the age of most of the viewers, but it could well make Herman our oldest viewer. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? We'll have to get him a special little reward for being a little prize for being our oldest viewer on the show. Which is
have to do something for him, yeah.
Yeah, we will. So if you can't come to us, we'll just have to go to Canada. Then we have to go to Toronto, but not when it gets a bit warmer, because I'm not going to Toronto if it's minus 18 degrees. Thank you very much. It's far too cold.
He's with us every week. That counts.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
What counts exactly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm not going to Toronto if it's cold.
And again, you've got the World Cup in a couple of years' time.
88.
Herman's 88. You're not 88, are you? Wow.
88.
If you're 88, man, that is brilliant. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that is brilliant. And I think you definitely would be our oldest viewer. So that is a
Oh,
great.
so that means he was born in 1935. Jeez.
We didn't quite make the Leicester game then, unfortunately. But we're very close. We almost found someone that was at a Leicester game. We nearly got there. Maybe next week we might find someone
Jeez,
there.
that's commitment, man. I tip my cap to you, man. That's brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. And you're watching us. That's brilliant. That is. And I'm glad that you're. I'm glad that you tune in and watch us so often. It's great to have you on board. And, we'll have to get you a little badge that says "I am the oldest viewer" or something that you can wear when you go to your music rehearsals every week. That's good. Terry says there. Thanks, Herman. I feel like a spring chicken. Yeah, he's made us all feel like a spring chicken tonight, hasn't he? That is amazing. Brilliant.
I bet Andreas feels like a spring chicken compared to him as well.
Yeah. Well, no, but Andreas is over 100 because Terry said he is. So there you go. It's like Benjamin Button. Andreas. He's going backwards.
No. I mean, I don't want to go into too much, right? Now we know Herman's age. I said I'm 31. We know what year you were born. Now we know what. Just tell us what year were you born in, Andreas? Because I don't know.
I was born 1960.
Oh, 1960. Oh, that makes you.
That's not too bad.
I told you that I'm working 42 years for the same company now. So.
Oh, yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Oh, sorry, no. I
you
said 20 years. Sorry, I didn't remember 42. So I thought you said 20. That's what I misheard.
Wow, that's a long time to be at one company, isn't it? I don't think I've. Apart from supporting Arsenal, I haven't done anything for 42 years.
When's your birthday, Andres? Andres, when's your birthday?
17th of June.
Oh, wow. So yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, so my mum was 63, so there you go. So yeah, he's really slightly 3 years older than my mum. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And my dad was 59. Yeah, you're only a few months older than my dad. So there you go.
Wow. Oh, there we go. You see, it's all coming out tonight, isn't it? We're learning a bit more about everybody, which is good. But I think we'll be hard pressed to find an older viewer than Herman. So that's brilliant stuff. We'll definitely have to get him a badge or something for that. Yeah, it's brilliant stuff. Wow, fantastic. So that's great stuff. Yeah. Now we do understand now why you maybe can't fly over to London to get to the games. But yeah. But you might want to go somewhere a bit warmer than Toronto then, perhaps, because it can't be good for you with all that cold weather. But anyway, I certainly if I reach 88, I'm definitely going to go somewhere warmer to sit on the beach somewhere and see out my days in the sun. But anyway, maybe that's just me. So that was interesting, actually, wasn't it? We got to learn some great information about everybody, and we know that Matt's the youngest and Herman's the oldest, and me and Terry are quite similar in age. And Amar sort of stuck in the middle on his own, really. But he's only one in his 30s on the show. Anyway, Terry says there, Blimey, can I have the number of your makeup artist, please, Andreas? Going out next week. He's Benjamin Button, Terry. That's what it is. He's Benjamin Button. He's aging backwards, which is the way to do it, really. It's the best way.
It's the football in the Arsenal that keeps me young.
Exactly. Well, it hasn't done so much in recent years, has it? But maybe this season that we might all feel a bit younger by May, maybe, mightn't we? If we've all won some trophies that we can enjoy, which will be good. Yeah. Well, that was a good show. So I enjoyed that. It was a bit of fun as well, and we got to know a little bit more about everybody else as well. And I say, Herman, brilliant stuff. So we look forward to seeing you very soon. So then I say, I'm back tomorrow at 2:30 with the Everton after match show. So join us for that if you can. And of course, Sunday, the big one. Arsenal women against West Ham women from it's from the Chigwell Community Stadium, isn't it, in Dagenham?
That's correct. Yeah,
it's a nice little stadium, and if you go in, enjoy the game. You're not going this year, are you, Matt? Down to that one?
No, it's the problem, isn't it? Is that 6:45? It's a bit of a issue. Getting back more than anything else. If it would have been if it would have been a 2 o'clock kickoff, it would have been fine, but. No, it's one of the problems as well. Actually, I think worked out as with the Sky deal. It works out as we have more games with Sky than any other team. I think out of the most days, we've been the most consistent.
Yeah, we're the latest games. Yeah, we do tend to have the later games more often, don't we? But anyway, we've got another one this week, another one in a few weeks' time as well. So it seems to be happening at the minute. But anyway, as long as we win the games, I suppose that's the main thing. But it would be nice if they thought about the fans a bit more when they pick the kick-off times. We spoke about this plenty of times, haven't we, before? And it's a shame that, you can't get to the game because of that reason. And plenty of people are in the same boat, unfortunately. But anyway, they seem to think probably because it's a game in London, it doesn't affect anyone. But not all Arsenal fans come from London, and they need to understand that as well. People do want to travel to games, and they need to think about that. But anyway, it's not going to change, is it? Herman says, I just typed it in. I sang with the Caribbean Opera Company. Wow. I auditioned at Royal Opera House in early 60s. Lord Harwood wanted to hire me, but the union wouldn't allow this. Wow. I mean, Herman, what an interesting character, man. You definitely got to come on the show. You'll have some great stories, I'm sure.
Lord Harwood, never heard of him anyway.
Brilliant stuff. And Terry says, have a great weekend, Richard, Andreas, and the two children, Amar and Matt. Yeah, they seem like our children, don't they? But they're not really. So anyway, they are the children of the show, maybe we can say. So yeah, it's been a good week again. Looking forward to another big weekend, and the weekend can officially start now. So whatever you're doing, it's fine. You can go to the pub. You can get a beer out, watch some telly, do whatever you like to do at the weekend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. Hopefully, 2 big wins for Arsenal. Herman says that over the US, Canada, and also in Ukraine. Wow. So he's been to Ukraine to sing as well. And if they hope they understood what you were singing. But I'm sure it did. It doesn't matter. No one understands opera, do they? Let's be honest. So it doesn't really matter, does it? But it must have been great. What a great experience. So enjoy your weekend, everyone. Enjoy the football. Hope for 2 big Arsenal wins again would be great, wouldn't it? We will see you. I'll see you tomorrow, and then I'll call Sunday for the women's game. Have a great evening. Andreas, thanks for coming on again, as always. Matt, as well. Great to see you all. And Amar as well. Thanks to all you guys in the chat. Don't forget, give us a like before you go. We will see you very soon. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you soon. And come on, you Gunners. Let's do it. Come on. So Arsenal now Frida Marnham again inside there looking for a second goal. Oh, she's got a second goal. That seals it. Frida Marnham again.